Hi. Now, when you know all the metrics, all the important metrics, and you basically understand the concepts of what's important, what's not, let's find out how to actually work with metrics, how to make a decision based on metrics, based on data. So I can say that there are two main approaches how to work with metrics. First of them is just to understand your goal, your what you need to achieve, and based on this goal you will ask specific questions to your business, and based on these questions you will choose a metric. So for example, you need to improve LTV, you need to get more money from each customer. Okay, so the basic thing you need to know is how much money are you earning right now from um, every potential user. And for example, what is retention rate? So how many purchases does each client makes in your product? And based on these questions, you can go to your data and analyze data, and then you will pick up the exact metrics that are important for you right now to focus on. And based on these metrics, you would go to the phase two. It's idea generation. So a generation of any hypothesis that could improve this particular metric that you need to improve. And then you go to phase three. It's test of hypothesis, where you could do some changes in your product, some marketing tests, or some business model tests. And there you would go and get some results, and you can calculate your unit economics after these tests. So basically, you start with the goal, then you ask some specific questions, and then you go to the metrics. So you do not start with the metric itself. And unit economics here, it could be calculated basically on the last stage when you test the hypothesis. You understand like which hypothesis hypothesis worked out well and which not. Another approach is where you do not need to generate hypotheses and test some new business model or something like that. You just need to make a decision. For example, you need to define a discount for your potential customer. So again, there is a goal. Okay, I need to calculate a discount that I can offer to a big customer. And then you go to the data. Okay, what is average usage of our product? For example, we want to sell gift certificates, and we need to understand what was the actual usage of gift certificates in the past. So what could be the discount to a big B2B customer on our gift certificates if we sell them like 1,000 of gift certificates? Then we probably he would ask for a discount, and we would probably can give one. But what's exactly the discount? So you go to the metrics, and you calculate your limit values. For example, in the case of gift certificates, you can find out that like on average 30% of gift certificates are never used. Okay, that basically means that you can give more or less big discount, because you understand that anyway part of the certificates would not be used, and then so you just calculate the economics on this particular sale and you make a decision. So that's two main approaches. And then how to find a good metric if you have a goal and you have a question. So there are different approaches, and there are different sources of information for a good metric. First of all, you should think about your stakeholders. Stakeholders could be internal, could be external. Basically, stakeholder is any person that has an interest in your product. For example, a client is also a stakeholder. Your shareholder, your founder, like I don't know, owner of the company is also a stakeholder. Like top management in the company is also a stakeholder. So sometimes you just do not need to think a lot about good metric. You just need to focus on that metrics that are important to your stakeholders. Of course, the best stakeholder is basically your client. So if you serve your client interests and you, for example, you focus on retention of the clients, on their happiness. That's always a good metric. On the other hand, you can focus on finance reports. You can research the customer journey. You can provide. You can perform a UX research, or you can go to the interview with the customers, so with the stakeholders, and understand what they actually need, what they like, what they don't like. So based on this, you will find a good metric. That's like basic description of the approach. Another way, if you go and look at your funnels, we also discussed funnels in the beginning. So if you go and look at your funnel and understand where is the bottleneck, where is the problem on the funnel, you could also focus on that particular stage on the funnel and on the particular conversion from one stage to another. So probably you just understand that you lose a lot of clients on some particular stage, and you need to improve this particular stage, or like work with your sales force and do something, and that would be your most important metric. Another framework for finding a metric is so-called pirate framework, R. That's because of the naming. It focused on 5 key elements of the product cycle. So yes. So the first one is acquisition, from where we receive clients. Is everything working good at that stage? Then is activation. So it's when we acquire the client, is he actually activated? Does he actually use a product? Is he happy with the? Does he understand what he should do to use the product? Then is retention stage. It's how long is the product used by our clients, how much clients retain in our product as long as it's possible. The next step is referral. So if our product is good, then our clients or users would recommend it product to their friends and within their network. And the final stage is revenue. So, okay, we sold our product, but how we could improve, how it could increase our revenue from each user. And here is a quick cheat sheet on every stage. For tech products, on every stage there are some particular metrics that could be really important, that usually are important for most of the companies. So just use this cheat sheet, and if you understand that your main problem in your product is retention, so you just need to calculate retention on a specified day or week or month, how frequent is the product usage, and all of these things. Also, there is very important concept of OMTM. It's one metric that matters. Usually it's good to select one metric that really is the cornerstone to your success. So, and all the efforts should be focused on that particular metric. That doesn't mean that this metric is the only one forever that you should choose, but it's current specific metric that you work on for some specific period of time. For example, a couple of examples from the top tier companies. Facebook initially focuses on activating the client. So when you join the Facebook, he tries to get you at least 7 friends, because like from their early research, when the person has at least 7 friends in his network, he starts to use the product. From Airbnb, their OMTM was the number of nights. So number of nights booked through the platform. So that's the metrics that combines interests of tourists and hosts, and the more nights are booked through the platform, that means the more people use this product. From Medium, initially one of their important metrics was number of minutes spent reading. So it's not number of articles, it's actually number of minutes spent, because if you spend a lot of time in the product, that means that you find something interesting, you find interesting article, and that means that you actually enjoy the platform itself. So one example from real life, it's online therapy again, turned out unexpectedly that when so the product could not grow without improving the number of therapists. So like if you spend more money in the marketing but you do not have therapists, they do not have open slots, and they could not get and the new clients could not book an appointment. So in some period of time, it was super important to focus on acquiring new therapists, because it really blocked the growth of the business, because there is limited capacity of each therapist. And if you do not have a lot of therapists and you do not have open slots, then your clients would go to your website and then leave. So one important thing to know also, as a couple of few final words, that OMTM, this one metric, it works simple as this anti-stress ball. What happens if you just push this ball? That would so when you try to focus on one particular metric, you will fix this, but immediately you will find problems in multiple different metrics. So this one metric should change regularly, and that's okay. So there is another concept of North Star metric. It means that you have OMTM on some specified short periods of time, but you have like one North Star metric that is like fixed for you for more or less long time. For example, 1 year or couple of years. Usually it's like revenue, LTV, or something super stable. But within that period, you usually change your focus from one OMTM to another. For example, you can be focused on retention, then on average cart size, then again on retention, then on acquisition cost, and you just focus on short-term periods on that particular metrics, improve them, then you find problems in another metric, improve there, and that's it. So basically, how to choose your metric to focus on. The most important metric is the one that's most broken. So you just look at all your metrics and understand if there is some particular area where you really didn't do anything, or it's like super bad metrics. It's the easiest way, it's easiest play to improve. So go there, improve there, then go to the next broken metric and improve there. So not try to like marginally improve super good metrics. Focus on the most broken. That's it. Thanks for watching, and we are close to the end of our course, actually.